Well, here's another something you can do with scrap clay. This is obviously mixed together scrapped clay. I put it through the pasta machine just to several times to get it all nice and conditioned and ready to work with. And one time through the pasta machine isn't going to be thick enough, and you don't need the pasta machine at all for this, actually. Just take your clay and condition it by squishing it together and warming it up, getting it ready to work with. And then these are hard clay. These are really old ones. So as you can see, I didn't use multiple colors of clay or my scrap clay. I used my good clay at the time because I was new to it and not thinking straight. So now that I have spare clay, I'm going to use it. Take your spare clay, make sure it's all nice and smooth from from mixing it all together. You don't want big wrinkles in it. And one of the best things to do is to make it into a ball and then slightly squish it. And I'm going to use rubber stamps for this effect. And I'm looking at the bottom of my stamp here. I'm looking at this one. And I can see there are some leaves in there. And these would provide excellent texture for clay leaves that I make, for later. So I'm going to I'm not going to worry about the entire thing, but I'd like these two leaves if possible. And that's not going to be quite big enough. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten it a little more, because you really don't need too much. And that'll work. So take it, squish it down really well, rock it back and forth, left and right, forward and back, but don't pick it up until you're done. And then, I don't know if you can see how good that worked or not, but it really worked well. I'm gonna carefully get my slicer and look at that. Take this, bake it, and then once you bake it, you'll have that, you'll have a permanent mold for any other leaves you make in the future. And this one, I have a really big bunch of different leaves, and that's what this one is. Let me move this other stuff out of the way. And I'm going to use some green real quick. I know it's not really leaf green, but it'll work, okay? Oh, Catherine, that's looking really good. So, let's say you want to make a little leaf. Your clay that you're going to use is going to be, you're going to have like you're going to make your leaf on there. Let's say we'll make this leaf like that. And then I have a little leaf. And now I would go back probably with my little razor blade. Now I have a glass tabletop, not on my good tabletop. And you can take your time and cut it out before you bake it or anything. And anyway, you make your own molds, whatever you want. Can you see the leaf? Anyway, I have leaves and snowflakes. Make little snowflakes, then you can make all kinds of stuff from that. And let's see, where's my other bead? I wanted to make I found this really cool button at the thrift store, and I want to make a bowl out of it. Can you see that? Oh, there we go. Okay, now I can see. Whew. Anyway, I want to make this as the bottom of a bowl. And this is great, because it even has a handle on it for me. Flip this over. Here's my, here's my scrap clay. Remember, always use your scrap clay if you can. Don't throw away your scrap clay. You'll end up with some. This is one thing it's really good for. I'm rolling it into a nice little ball, and then I put it in the soft part of my hand, like right in the center, both of my hands, and then kind of flatten it just a little, not much. And then I'm going to take my bowl, or my, I'm going to take my button, and I'm going to squish it up on the sides and put it in there. To get the, and now this is a metal button, so I would go ahead and bake it in there, so that way it wouldn't lose any detail or anything. Then after you take it out, and you might have to pry on it a little bit, but then you're going to have this wonderful bowl. And I don't know if you can tell, but it has every little detail in there. How close? There, I can get closer. Love it when it works. It has every single little detail. Works perfectly. The only disadvantage to working with hard clay rather than a real mold maker, like the amazing mold maker clay that I have for the other one, is the other one bends. This one does not bend. This one is solid. You cannot bend it at all. It won't budge unless you break it. So after this is baked, when you go to put, let's pretend I want a green bowl, pretend that's baked, you'd put cornstarch in there, just a thin layer, pour the cornstarch in, dump it out, and then kind of blow on it just a little bit. Then you stick your clay in there, and you'll scoop out, it's a bowl, so you'll scoop out what you want for your bowl, and then sometimes you can bake it and it'll work, but you don't want to do that for something this big. You're going to have to pry out your bowl, and the baking powder, the cornstarch will help, you can use it as a release agent. It'll bring it out. You might also try some mineral oil or clay conditioning oil. That would probably pull it right out too. But anyway, lots of fun. A nice little thing. I know I'm all stuttering over this whole video. It's one of those days. You can take this, remember this was baked hard. You okay, sweetie? Ooh, that was looking good. Take it, put it in there, scoop out what you want to scoop out. Put it in the freezer, or put it in the freezer for 30 minutes, or refrigerator, or maybe 15 minutes in the freezer and 30 minutes in the refrigerator. And then this clay, the soft clay, will be very firm, but of course not cooked. And then you take it out, and then you can go ahead and bake it, and you'll have yourself a nice little duplicate bowl. So try that for your spare clay.
I painted this, and I made it for my mom.
I love you.